So I'm sitting here looking out my window, and the best thing about looking out your window is when you just see the flow of life, people, nature, your mind is kind of at peace. It's quiet outside, so your mind's at peace. So you start thinking about a lot of things. And I was thinking about my life last year and all the shit that I was going through last year, and I was just thinking about just recent times. And like I said, when you looking out the window, you start to like life meditates on you, and you start, when reality hits, and it's just like, oh shoot. Think about bills. Think about the internet. Think about work. So, like how I said before, jobs and work is slavery. Um, you're put in a system in place where you have to work 100% of the time to pay bills, to just live a day-to-day life. And then if you slip up with that job, they will throw you under the bus and then make someone else take your spot. And the dark thing about jobs is that you have to pay these bills. You're working a 9 to 5 forever, and you're at your lowest point in life. I don't want to talk about jobs. I want to talk about the internet. I want to talk about bills. Damn, all this lint from the shirt. So think about the internet. We're paying plenty of money monthly, yearly, decadely. I'm making up a word, but you're paying money on a current system, a current style, to use internet so you could live. So internet to access apps, internet to do basically anything. Imagine if your phone is off, you could use your internet, you could use certain social medias to contact somebody, FaceTime somebody. And the most important thing, internet for GPS, internet for Google, internet for research. You need internet. Internet is basically like the nutrients in a meal. Think of it like that. So they've built a system where you need to kind of rely on internet to access the GPS, to contact people if your phone's off, and to just for fun. Now I already told you about how weird and dark social media is, but think of it on a deeper level. You need a browser, you need an internet service to help you get access to these things that could be either good for you or that could be bad for you. Good for you, GPS, bad for you, social media. Now, why is that? Why the hell did they put a system on bills? Why did they put a system with bills on everything that we do in life? So they get you working the 9 to 5s forever. They get you working 9 to 5s forever, keep you at your lowest point in life, so you have to pay these bills, so you have to live day to day, so that you stuck. You go to college, you become bankrupt, you're in debt, and you're like in your 20s and 30s. You in debt forever with college. That's why I hate college. I think you should do trade schools, but even trade schools are expensive. And then they put you on internet, so you have to keep paying a system. And then if you mess up with that payment, they shut it off. Just like with cars, just like with your car getting repoed. If you mess up on your monthly payment of your car, they'll come get it. You know what I'm saying? If you park your car in the wrong space, you gotta go pay. You gotta go pay. What's it called? A ticket. I was about to say taxes. That too. Fucking taxes too, nigga. You gotta. If you pay off your land, somebody looking out the window? What the hell? Anyway, if you pay off your land, you pay off your land, but then you gotta pay land taxes and house taxes. There's a system of money where you have to get money, pay them money. You're paying millionaires and billionaires money, so you have to pay the rich rich. So you're in a system where you have to get money, give it to them to get what you need in life, and then some of the things that you need in life is not even good for you, which is social media. So the world is a rapid loop system of darkness where you have to literally keep what the fuck? Your mind, your soul in 100% of the time. That's the darkness of this world. I was just thinking about that earlier. Like, it goes down to everything. You need internet to access GPS. Imagine if you get lost. Imagine if you get lost. Nigga, you ain't gonna get a GPS. You're just gonna be stuck in that place. You gotta ask people, you gotta go to Dunkin' Donuts or McDonald's Wi-Fi to get your phone turned on. Back then in the day, obviously in the 50s and 60s and 70s, they didn't have internet. So their phone services, like their telephones, when they spin the wheel or when they press the buttons and they, like this, or the house phones, they were on a server like walkie-talkie. I forgot what it's called, but it's obviously not an internet server. They're on a server, a wired server, so you could get calls over time. It's better. And you didn't have to pay phone payments. Nowadays, they put it on an internet server, so you have to pay T-Mobile, Verizon, Sprint, Metro PCS. I know Sprint shut down, but I just want to use them for example. You have to pay to use their service. Back then, it wasn't. Now it's just like money, money, money. Loop, 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 loop. It wasn't like that then. They put payments on everything. They put payments on what we need and stuff that we don't need. That's tough. That's tough. Bills is a horror movie. It's a horror movie. The very messed up thing is that the poor communities get ignored too, because the higher ups feel like they don't need to spend money on the poor communities, or they could be as cheap as possible with the poor communities because these people are low class. So they look over you and then they keep their shit because they're selfish. You know, it's a dark system all around. So I talked about phone payments. I talked about cars. The crazy thing about cars is these niggas would take your shit, then you gotta pay them back, then they'll give it back to you, then ask for more again. I talked about phone. I talked about internet, phone services. I talked about cars. I talked about bills and taxes. I talked about any and everything. So my point, short and simple, basically, you gotta work a 9 to 5 forever to provide. Then you gotta pay these bills. Then if you slip off with these bills, they'll come take your shit or cut your shit off. Then you can't get anything that you need in life. You can't rely on it. You can't go places, or you can't, because they took it from you. If you slip off, then they fire you. It's literally a slave system. It's just more advanced now with technology and more hidden in plain sight, so you can't see it. When I kept saying phones are off, I mean suspended. I say off. Me and my mom say off, but suspended is what I mean. For example, I'm not gonna put my business out on the internet, but where I live is not perfect. It used to be a better place 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 7 years ago, 8 years ago. It used to be lit. Over here now is just, it's not the hood. It's not the hood crime and ghetto and drugs and murder and rope. No. It's just not good. It's if I had to rank it on a scale, it's like a 4 out of 10. It's just okay, and we get overlooked because low class people. So think about everything that I had mentioned in this video. Think about everything I mentioned in this video, even rent too. I could talk about rent and the roof of your fucking head and how dark the system is with that. It's just a repeated system where if you slip up, they kick you out the loop. But when you're in a loop, you're struggling because it's an infinite 9 to 5. It's an infinite 9 to 5. It's an infinite money, this, bills, this, that, this, struggle, this. You got to pick your poison, realistically. I can't be content with this. This is disgusting to me. I can't be content with this. How can I be content? I'm a very content person. I'm a humble human being. I don't want much. I don't want the universe. But how can I enjoy life when everything is a problem? I can't do it. I tried to. Then something takes me out of myself and then puts me back in darkness. This is a horrific system, a horrific world. And it pisses me off. It's a domino effect. It's a domino effect on how I got to this thought process that I'm having right now. Life been difficult lately. And then I sometimes I think to myself and I'm like, what the hell is really going on? And then I just want to make this video. It's tough. A lot of these people say, well, I'm sorry, there's nothing I could do about it. I've heard that a million times. There is something that you could do about it. Don't fucking lie to me. There's very much something you can do about it. You just don't care. That's the demon in you. You don't give a fuck. So if you really did give a fuck, you would have a soul and you have the humane in you and you'd be like, hey, you know what? I'll help you. I got you. But a lot of people, no, I can't do it. I can't take those jobs. Those jobs is dark. It's just like with a lawyer. When you're a lawyer, you have to put aside the humane in you and argue the court of law, the paperwork. What is ingrained? What does the court say? What does the law say? And then you defend your client. That's how it is with being a lawyer. I can't do it. Obviously, I know how the system works. I know how bills work. I know how society works. Obviously, I know that I'm not stupid. But just imagine if we had access to social media, the system of life, GPS, internet. Imagine YouTube, Instagram. Imagine everything. Google, GPS. Imagine everything without internet. Imagine, I'm pretty sure that exists. I'm pretty sure we could have a reality. We could have that. I'm pretty sure we could be on the apps and the systems of the phone, the networks, without internet and without paying bills for that. They just want money from us. They just want to keep us in the slave system. I'm pretty sure that's possible. I'm pretty sure when they invented this, they were like, this could be set this way, but then they chose, nah, we're gonna make them pay and then manipulate and get money from our pockets. I'm pretty sure that exists. We could have phone calls without network systems. Like it could literally be like the 1950s. I know that that's possible, but they don't want it that way. Social media put a like count on our names. So if you don't have enough likes, people won't mess with you. And then they put a price on air. They even put a price on going to the park. One of the parks near where I live, I have to pay to get into nature. My backyard is a park. I could go back there if I wanted to go to a bigger park. They put a price tag on it. Like nature has prices on it. Air has prices on it. Water has prices on it. I understand the grocery store. I understand the whole grocery store system, but grocery store got fake food. What the hell is that? Grocery store got GMO, fake artificial food that hurts my stomach. But I understand why they put a price tag on that. But with everything else that I'm talking about, there's a price tag, there's an order, and there's a loop on everything else. That's scary. That's a horror movie. I haven't seen him in a minute. It's been a minute since I've seen these dudes. My boy is vegan. I'm trying to be like you when I grow up. Yeah, I know. You probably hear me. I'm trying to be like you when I grow up, boy. You hear me?